Hi, I'm Miss Powell. I'm the English teacher at this campus, and I just wanted to share a lesson with you on close reading. And how do we do close reading? I think we know by now. We always need to read the story or the passage more than once. We need to underline. We need to write notes in the margin. We need to circle words that we don't know. Look at context clues for the definition of those words. So we know that there are many ways that we do a close reading. And let me remind you, if you are working in Google Classroom, the templates that you see, you'll have the short story there along with this video. You will have questions for the video. And all of these will be grades in Edmentum, unit activities, um, test grades. If you're following along in person, of course, you've got the handout. And those questions you answer in the handout will be grades in Edmentum as well. So let's see. Happy New Year. Once again, I've got the Happy New Year celebration behind me. Let's see how we do a Happy New Year close reading. Yeah, New Year close reading. Let's just look at how we do that. Happy New Year in our New Year close reading. Yeah, today we'll be able to analyze a text and a video using close reading skills. And I've got Chinese New Year here because we're going to see a Chinese commercial and do a close viewing of that commercial to gain meaning, to answer questions. Those questions are embedded in the video, and so that should be a help as we go through. We're going to look at a close reading, going to determine a meaning here. Okay, we're going to answer these questions embedded in the video. Why is the boy's head down? Do you think the man and the boy know each other? Okay, and this girl, what is her relationship with the man? Why did the man give the boy soup and pay for the medicine? Then we'll see the whole situation, same characters 30 years later. What do you think? Why did the man behind the counter give the bag to the man with the beard and the shaggy hair? What can we guess about the man with the beard? Okay, what is, based on what we've seen so far, what can we say about the man behind the counter? Something happens to this man. What happens? Then we see a girl, a young woman. What is she feeling? What is she thinking? Who is the man in the coat talking to? What is for sale in the picture? Okay, a little flashback. What is the boy thinking in the scene? We watch the video again. What point do you think the commercial is trying to make the people who watch it? Did the film succeed? Okay, let's see.
ไอ้ขี้ขโมยไหนดูสิเอาอะไรไปออกมานี่ไปทำอะไรเนี่ยฮะถามว่าเอาไปทำอะไรเอามาให้แม่
Why is the boy's head down? Why is he feeling shame? Do you think the man and the boy know each other? And it really doesn't look like it to me.
แม่ป่วยเหรอ
Why did the man give the woman the money? Obviously to pay for what the boy stole.
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
หมวยเกาเหลา
Yeah, look at her reaction. Who is this girl? What do you think the relationship between the man and the girl is? He calls her sweetie. Obviously, it's her daughter, or the daughter. Hey, her reaction, let's look at it. Yeah, she's a little put out. Why is my father giving all the merchandise away? And to this boy, he's not paying for anything. Dad is using money we have to pay for this boy, and we know the boy's mother is sick. Why did the man give the boy soup and pay for the medicine? What does this say about this man? Now it's 30 years later. Yeah, the same young lady. Dad, here you go. What do you think is in the bag? Food. Why do you think the man with the beard? What can we say based on what we've seen? What can we say about the man behind the counter? A lot of character there, a lot of amazing character. What do you think has happened to the man? Possibly a brain aneurysm. And yeah, that's kind of confirmed here. Yeah, look at his daughter. She's got to pay for an operation, a brain operation, $792,000. What can we do to pay on this bill? How is the girl feeling right now? What is she thinking about? Obviously, her father and the bill. Look at this man in the coat. What is he talking to the girl about? Yeah, we've got this very expensive bill here. What is for sale? Obviously, the restaurant they worked years to obtain. What has changed about the hospital bill? 72,000 went to zero. All expenses paid 30 years ago. 3 packs of painkillers. And a bag of veggie soup. Who paid the bill for the family and why? Okay, we know it was the doctor who performed the surgery, but who is that doctor? What is the boy thinking in this scene? Probably the first time in his life somebody's done something for him. Giving is the best communication. Why does the film include pictures at the end? What are they trying to communicate to the viewer? What is this young man doing now? Now let's watch it again. Let's think about the questions. What point do you think the commercial is trying to make? Did it
ขี้
succeed?
ขโมยไหนดูสิเอาอะไรไปออกมานี่เอาไปทำอะไรเนี่ยฮะถามว่าเอาไปทำอะไรเอาไปให้แม่
แม่ป่วยเหรอ
อย่าทำอย่างนี้อีกนะ
หมวยเกาเหลา จอนั่งเลยครับนั่งเลย
ป๊า
Dad?
จัดไปสั่งมาเร็วต่ออะไร
Okay, a very, very, very moving commercial. I've got to admit, it touches me very deeply. Here we have a story where a little boy has a sick mother, and he wants to get her medicine, wants to get her some painkillers, but he can't. They have no money. Obviously, the father is either dead or has deserted the family, and he's now the sole support. Mother is too sick to work. So the only thing he knows to do is steal. And so his head's down. He's ashamed. He's not been taught to be a thief. But how else do you take care of a sick mother when you need so much? Um, I can't say that the man and the boy know each other. This obviously is the first encounter. And judging from the surprised and scared look on the little boy's face, he's shocked that somebody would want to help him. He feels like it's all on his own. Um, I think the little girl is very interesting. Uh, when her father calls her, he says, "Sweetie, go get some soup." After he's kind of settled down the situation and paid for the medicine, she's looking at him. She gives him, "Oh, no, not again, look." Uh, almost as if she's saying, "Dad, he's not going to pay you back. This is money that we need, and you're giving it away. You're giving the merchandise away. You're giving our profits away." So she's very skeptical. Obviously, this is something the father does a lot of. Then 30 years later, we see this confirmed. Um, she gives this kind of disgusted look as he's talking to a friend and a customer and says, "Dad," uh, pointing at the beggar, the man with the beard. And once again, he does the same. He puts food in a bag and gives it to the beggar. And he says, "Here you go," and smiles. He treats everybody with the same amount of respect. Then suddenly we get the idea that probably a brain aneurysm. He's worked hard. He's moved his little um, grocery store into a restaurant. And so he's advanced, but he's worked hard to do it. And consequently, his health has gone, and he's worked so hard, he's had a brain aneurysm. And of course, his daughter is just devastated by it. Okay. The girl, the young woman, as we say, she's at her wit's end. This is a man that she, like everybody else, has spent their life depending on, and now he's sick. And she has nothing, she has no idea. And worse than that, the operation is $792,000. No way she could even begin to pay that bill. So she's talking to this surgeon, this brain surgeon, can't be done. So she's going to sell the restaurant. And she is just exhausted from sitting by her father's bedside, from trying to figure out how to sell the restaurant to pay the bill. She's lying there, and someone has quietly put a new revised bill under her arm as she sleeps. She wakes up to find out it's paid in full, was paid 30 years ago. With that little boy who uh, the shop owner is calling a thief. That little boy could have, had he been arrested, and probably would have been, taken to reform school, spent his life stealing. His mother died, him by himself. Stealing possibly would not have even lived to his 20th birthday. Instead, because of what this man did, uh, he wanted to give back, became a doctor, and not just a doctor, a brain surgeon. And because of what this man did, he paying this bill was nothing to him. And he went on to touch so many lives, as we see in the picture. Communication, giving is the best communication. Okay, we know that this is obviously the author's purpose here is persuasion, and we see the persuasion that's going on here, persuading this the viewer that one act of kindness can spread into many different lives. Okay, we're going to see another video that, or actually, we're going to read a story this time, and we're going to see that we can do the same type of close reading, the same method in fiction that we do when we watch a video. This story that we're going to see is entirely different from the video we've just seen. Um, we're going to see a humorous version. We've seen um, the the give back video. Um, and we've just come out of the Christmas season. We have given, we've received, we've just seen the giving video. Now we're going to read the giving or the receiving, how to make sure you get everything for yourself and don't think about anybody but yourself. We're going to see a little story, a little fairy tale from the Brothers Grimm. But this fairy tale is humorous. And this fairy tale is about how can I get as much as I can for myself. Okay, the young main character in this story is Gretel, and we're told that she is a clever Gretel. Let's see why she gets the nickname Clever Gretel, and let's see what the theme or the main idea is here in this story. Okay, there once was a cook named Gretel who wore shoes with red heels, and when she walked out with them on, she turned herself this way and that, was quite happy, and thought, "You certainly are a pretty girl." And when she came home, she drank, in her gladness of heart, a full glass of wine. And as wine excites a desire to eat, she tasted the best of whatever she was cooking until she was full and said, "The cook must know what the food is like." It came to pass that the master one day said to her, "Gretel, there is guest coming this evening. Prepare me 2 chickens very daintily." "I will see to it, master," answered Gretel. She killed 2 chickens, scalded them, plucked them, put them on a spit, and toward the evening set them before the fire that they might roast. The chickens began to turn brown and were nearly ready, but the guest had not yet arrived. Then Gretel called out to her master, "If the guest does not come, I must take the chickens away from the fire, but it will be a sin and a shame if they are not eaten the moment that they are at their juiciest." The master said, "I will run myself and fetch the guests." When the master had turned his back, Gretel laid the spit with the chickens on one side and thought, "Standing so long by the fire there makes one sweaty and thirsty. Who knows when they will come? Meanwhile, I will run into the cellar and take a drink." She ran down, set a jug, and said, "God bless it for you, Gretel." She took a good drink and thought that wine should flow on and should not be interrupted, and took yet another hearty drink. Then she went and put the chickens down again to the fire, basted them, and drove the spit merrily round. But as the roast meat smelled so good, Gretel thought something might be wrong. It should be tasted. She touched it with her finger and said, "Ah, how good the chickens are. It certainly is a sin and a shame that they are not eaten at the right time." She ran to the window to see if the master was not yet coming with his guests, but she saw no one and went back to the chickens and thought, one of the wings is burning. I had better take it off and eat it. So she cut it off and ate it and enjoyed it. And when she had done, she thought, the other must go down too, or else master will observe that something is missing. When the two wings were eaten, she went and looked for her master and did not see him. It suddenly occurred to her, who knows? They are perhaps not coming at all and have turned in somewhere. Then she said, well, Gretel, enjoy yourself. One fowl has been cut in to take another drink and eat up entirely. When when it is eaten, you will have some peace. And why should God's gifts go be spoiled? So she ran into the cellar again and took an enormous drink and ate up the one chicken with great glee. When one of the chickens was swallowed down and still her master did not come, Gretel looked at the other and said, what one is, the other should be likewise. The two go together. What's right for the one is right for the other. I think if I were to take another drink, it would do me no harm. She took another hearty drink and let the second chicken follow the first. While she was making the most of it, her master came and cried, hurry up, Gretel. The guest is coming directly after me. Yes, sir, I will soon serve it up, answered Gretel. Meantime, the master looked to see what the table was properly laid and took the great knife wherewith he was going to carve the chickens and sharpened it on the steps. Presently the guest came and knocked politely and courteously at the house door. Gretel ran and looked to see who was there, and when she saw the guest, she put her finger to her lips. Hush, hush, go away as quickly as you can. If my master catches you, it will be worse for you. He will certainly, he certainly did ask you to supper, but his intention is to cut off your ears. Just listen how he is sharpening the knife for it. The guest heard the sharpening and hurried down the steps again as fast as he could. Gretel was not idle. She ran screaming to her master and cried, you have invited a fine guest. Why, Gretel, what do you mean by that? Yes, she said, he has taken the chickens which I was going to serve up off the dish and has run away with them. That's a nice trick, said her master, and lamented the fine chickens. If he had but left me one, so that something remained for me to eat. He called to him to stop, but the guest pretended not to hear. Then he ran after him with the knife, still in hand, crying, just one, meaning that the guest should leave him just one chicken and not take both. The guest, however, thought no otherwise than he was to give up one of his ears and ran as if fire were burning under him in order to take them both with him. Okay, let's look at the questions. Yeah, she's pretty clever, maybe. Let's analyze what we've read looking at the questions. Characterize Gretel's self-image. How does she view herself? What textual evidence supports your assessment? Well, she has a very high self-image. She tells herself that she's very pretty. She tells herself that she is entitled to the best of the food because she's the best cook. Okay. What routinely tempts Gretel to sample everything she cooks? Well, she's already sampling the wine, goes down to the cellar and does that routinely. And when she drinks, she's hungry and she wants to eat what she's cooked. In the second paragraph, The master instructs Gretel to prepare me 2 chickens very daintily. In the context of the story, what is most likely meant by the idea of preparing a meal daintily? Well, it's making it very good to eat, make it taste and smell very good. Use your best craft to make the food smell and taste good. Okay, identify an example of foreshadowing in the story. Be sure to explain your thoughts and clarify, uh, identify what specifically is foreshadowed. Okay, well, foreshadowing gives us a hint of what is to come. So, what is foreshadowed here? Well, in that first paragraph, we see some foreshadowing. The cook must know what the food is like. Okay, must know what the food is like. So it certainly gives us a foreshadow into the idea that she's probably going to eat up everything she cooks, that she's going to sample because she feels like she's the best cook. How would you describe the tone of Gretel's thoughts and comments in paragraph 5, support evidence? Well, I love the fact that each paragraph is numbered here, as we should do when we do a close reading. When the master had turned his back, Gretel laid the spit with the fowls on one side and thought, standing so long by the fire makes one sweat and thirsty. Who knows when they will come? Meanwhile, I will run into the cellar and take a drink. She ran down and set a jug. God bless it for you, Gretel. She took a good drink and thought that wine should flow on, should not be interrupted, and took yet another hearty drink. Okay, certainly her tone is that of entitlement. Um, God will bless you for stealing this wine that you are in no way entitled to. Um, and she takes a drink and feels even more entitled and drinks more. And we know that when she drinks, this itself is foreshadowing. She suddenly feels that she is hungry and should eat. How does Gretel justify the secret consumption of food meant for company? Well, she does that several times. She says that it's wrong to waste God's dainties. She says that food should be consumed when it's at its uh, juiciest point. She also says that um, she needs to, maybe something's wrong with the food. She needs to try it and finding out it's good. Oh, the wing is on fire. I need to go ahead and eat the wing. Well, I've eaten one, so I need to eat the other. Okay, she just keeps justifying and justifying. What is meant by the phrase Gretel was not idle in paragraph 11? So let's look. Gretel was not idle. She ran screaming to her master and cried, "You have invited a fine guest." Okay, she's using her head. She's covering up her crimes by causing the 2 men to be suspicious of one another rather than her. Um, Tells the guest that uh, her master is going to chop off his ears, tells her master that the guest is stolen the 2 chickens. You have invited a fine guest. How would you characterize the tone of Gretel's comment? Support your claim with textual evidence. Okay, well, uh, I would say her tone is very deceptive. It certainly is very greedy. It's very self serving. And certainly her actions give rise to that. The fact that she tells her master that he's stolen the chickens, the guest has stolen the chickens. The fact that she tells the guest that your master um, or the person who has invited you here is going to cut off your ears. She's stolen food. She's stolen drink. All of this that she was supposed to prepare and serve him with, he's paying her to do it. She's consumed herself. Okay. Consider the entire plot. Does the nickname Clever Gretel carry a positive or a negative connotation? Take stance and support your claim with relevant textual evidence. Okay. To me, it takes a very negative connotation. She is a thief. She justifies her actions, but continually steals from her master to the point that he gets absolutely nothing to eat for supper. He's lost a good friend. And she feels perfectly justified in doing it. So, no, I don't see a positive connotation there. Okay, so we've done a close reading and we've analyzed a text. This is best done by reading the text more than once, by asking ourselves questions about the text, underlining important details, taking notes, and using context clues to understand unknown vocabulary. So we mark up the passage, we take time to take notes in the margin, to read the story twice or the text twice, and then to make inferences about the characters, as we did a lot of in the video, as we did just by the actions of Gretel in the short story. Okay, what probably would be the theme of the short story? Those who get whatever they can, ultimately, as we know with her, are going to get consequences. I guess if we were very cynical, we could say, get whatever you want as quickly as you can. But either way, we see that there is a great deal of characterization, and it's very important to make inferences as we read and do a close reading. Thank you for letting me share today.